In the sun-washed city of Verona, where noble families walk with pride and ancient grudges boil beneath the surface, a tale unfolds that has echoed through the ages. A tale of young love, caught in the crossfire of hatred, of destiny, that dances between joy and sorrow, of passion that rises like a flame, only to be extinguished by fate. Romeo and Juliet is not just a story, it is a mirror of youthful desire, familial rivalry, and the fragile thread upon which human lives hang. The story begins amidst a violent feud between two powerful households, the Montagues and the Capulets. No one remembers how it started, but the hatred runs so deep that even the servants are eager to draw swords at the slightest provocation. The streets of Verona are no strangers to bloodshed, and the Prince of Verona, Aeschylus, has had enough. He declares that any further breach of the peace will be punished by death. In the midst of this turmoil, young Romeo Montague is lovesick, not with Juliet, but with a distant and disinterested Rosaline. His heart aches with poetic sorrow as he pines for a love that will never be returned. His cousin Benvolio, ever the peacemaker, urges him to forget Rosaline and look upon other women. Romeo, still blinded by his obsession, refuses, until fate takes a sudden turn.
Meanwhile, across the city, preparations are underway at the Capulet household. A grand ball is to be held, and the noble Count Paris has come seeking Juliet's hand in marriage. Juliet, only 13, is obedient and gentle. She listens as her mother, Lady Capulet, and the nurse speak of marriage and expectations. Juliet is polite but cautious. Marriage is not yet a dream she has dared to dream. It is then that the masquerade ball becomes the crucible of destiny. Benvolio, seeing an opportunity to distract Romeo, convinces him and their lively friend Mercutio to crash the Capulet party disguised under masks. Romeo is reluctant at first, haunted by a strange dream he had, but Mercutio, with his wild wit and infectious energy, mocks his fears with the famous Queen Mab speech, painting dreams as mere fantasies, not omens. As Romeo enters the ballroom, the world slows. There, across the glittering room, he sees Juliet, and in that moment, time stands still. Rosalind vanishes from his mind, and Juliet becomes the center of his universe. He approaches her, and with poetic grace, they exchange words that flow like a sonnet. Their lips meet in a kiss, innocent and electric. But joy quickly curdles into shock as they each discover the other's identity. Romeo, a Montague, Juliet, a Capulet. The name alone should make them enemies, but love has already rooted itself in their hearts. Despite the danger, Romeo sneaks into the Capulet orchard later that night, drawn by love and moonlight. Beneath Juliet's balcony, he overhears her speak of her love for him, even knowing he is her family's enemy. Emboldened, he reveals himself. What follows is one of literature's most iconic moments, the balcony scene. In whispered words and trembling hearts, they pledge their love and vow to marry in secret. Juliet, practical yet passionate, sends her nurse to arrange the marriage. And Juliet, with the help of Friar Lawrence, a wise and kind priest, their union is blessed in secret. Friar Lawrence believes their love may end the feud and bring peace to Verona, but fate is not so easily tamed. The very same day, a fiery encounter ignites on the streets of Verona. Tybalt, Juliet's hot-tempered cousin, confronts Romeo. But Romeo, now Tybalt's kinsman by marriage, refuses to fight. Mercutio, enraged by what he sees as cowardice, steps in. Steel flashes, and Mercutio is mortally wounded. With his dying breath, he curses both houses. "A plague o' both your houses." Grief and fury drive Romeo to revenge. He slays Tybalt in a duel, and the streets are stained with fresh blood once more. When the prince arrives, he shows mercy, but not leniency. Romeo is exiled from Verona. Juliet, unaware of the events, waits impatiently for night to fall and her husband to come. When she learns the truth, her world shatters. Her cousin dead, her husband banished. But love endures even this. Romeo and Juliet share one brief night together before he flees to Mantua. As dawn breaks, the lovers are torn apart again. Juliet, now a wife in secret, is devastated to learn that her father has arranged her marriage to Paris in just a few days. She begs for more time, but Lord Capulet, unaware of her secret marriage, is harsh and unyielding. Desperate, Juliet turns to Friar Lawrence, who devises a daring plan. She will take a potion that mimics death. Her family will believe her dead, lay her in the Capulet tomb, and once she wakes, Romeo will be there to take her away to a new life together. Juliet drinks the potion. When her nurse finds her cold and lifeless, grief engulfs the household. The wedding preparations turn into a funeral procession. Word spreads of Juliet's death, but fate plays its cruelest hand here. The letter sent by Friar Lawrence to Romeo explaining the plan never reaches him. Instead, Romeo hears only of Juliet's death. Heartbroken and distraught, Romeo rushes back to Verona. Along the way, he purchases poison from an apothecary, deadly and fast. He makes his way to the Capulet tomb, where Paris is mourning. Believing Romeo to be a vandal or threat, Paris confronts him. A brief duel ends with Paris slain, his dying wish to be laid beside Juliet. Inside the tomb, Romeo gazes upon Juliet, still breathtaking in death, believing her truly gone. He speaks his final words and drinks the poison. His life ebbs away beside the one he loves. Moments later, Juliet awakens. She sees Romeo dead beside her, the poison bottle empty. She kisses his lips in hope of joining him. But it is not enough. Hearing footsteps and knowing she cannot live without him, she takes Romeo's dagger and plunges it into her heart. The tomb falls silent once more, now holding two star-crossed lovers in eternal slumber.
The city awakens to the horror. The Montagues and Capulets arrive, drawn by grief. Friar Lawrence confesses everything. In the face of their children's sacrifice, the parents finally understand the cost of their hatred. The feud ends, not with a treaty, but with two graves. A golden statue is built to honor Juliet, but no monument can undo what was lost. Thus ends the story of Romeo and Juliet, a story not just of love, but of the tragedy that follows when pride, rage, and miscommunication rule the heart. It reminds us that love is fragile, that time is precious, and that peace often comes too late. Though their lives were brief, Romeo and Juliet live forever, not only in death, but in the timeless truth their tale teaches every generation.